chaos reigns. KLW's on the front line through the battles and the pains, with a camera in the fray and the world on our screens. We're the voice of the silence, the witness of the scenes. Headlines flashing bright from the shadows we arise, with the truth in our hands under perilous skies. Every story told is a battle we fight. Through the darkness and the fear, we bring the light. In the chaos, in the flames, we'll stand tall, with the courage to reveal through the rise and the fall. From the embers of the war to the echoes of the call, we're the eyes of the world and we'll never stall. KLW, we're the warriors on the front lines. Through the blood and the fire, we'll define the times. In the heat of the battle, where the truth aligns, we're the voice of the war and the world will find. From the ruins and the wreckage, every story's told. Through the tears and the heartbreak, the bravery unfolds. In the darkest hours, when the world's torn apart, KLW brings the stories straight from the heart. With the cameras rolling through the wreckage and the pain, we capture the reality while the world remains. Every angle, every moment in the line of fire, we're the pulse of the battlefield, never to tire. KLW, we're the warriors on the front lines. Through the blood and the fire, we'll define the times. In the heat of the battle, where the truth aligns, we're the voice of the war and the world will find. KLW, we're the warriors on the front lines. Through the blood and the fire, we'll define the times. In the heat of the battle, where the truth aligns, we're the voice of the war and the world will find. Through the smoke and the ruins, we'll pierce the veil. With every breath we take and every tale, we're the heartbeat of the conflict in the shadowed frail. With KLW's vision, the truth won't fail. Stand firm, we're the beacon in the fray. Through the dust and the fury, we'll light the way. In the fight for the truth, where the heroes lay. KLW, the story's here to stay. KLW, we're the warriors on the front lines. Through the blood and the fire, we'll define the times. In the heat of the battle, where the truth aligns, we're the voice of the war and the world will find. So here's to the courage and the tales we unfold. In the heart of the conflict, our story's told. KLW, with the truth we hold. In the fire of the war, our legacy bold.
You can't handle the truth!
KLW World News coming to you this evening with a lot of crazy things going on. Earlier today, we had a hazmat incident at the Pentagon. Now, what CNN and other mainstream media were reporting was different than what we were reporting. Why? Because they were reading a press release. We were monitoring the radio traffic and had multiple cameras monitoring the scene live. Our conclusions and their conclusions, well, they don't quite make sense. You see, people are wondering how two of the NBC nuclear biological chemical detectors of the Apex version could malfunction simultaneously, why people would be coming out with chest pains, and there was a positive alert for anthrax per the sensors. Of course, the mainstream media didn't say anything about that either. Now, something I do want to say something about: storms. We have got huge storms moving across just north of Indianapolis. We had a tornado on the ground there earlier. If you are in the area, we would advise you to check with the Weather Service and seek shelter immediately if you happen to be in any of these areas here where there are red triangles, or in this area here at all. So we're talking south of Kalamazoo, where I was involved in a high-speed chase one time coming up. Geez, I didn't realize how far I had went But yeah, anyway, Kalamazoo. I'll never forget it. When the chase was over, the sergeant from the state police walked up and said, "I want to shake your hand." And I said, "Well, ma'am, why is that?" She said, "I've been trying to catch you for 2 hours running lights and siren, and you're in a pickup truck not running lights at all, and was able to chase this guy down. Have a good day. Thank you very much." And I was like, wow. So anyway, that was years ago. I can show you the truck. It was a custom 150. There's many pictures of me with it. The guy ran me off the road, and well, it didn't end so well for him. So let me get back to these storms. They've been moving across. There's a lot of storms. Some people said that these were going to be higher up this part of the year. And, well, I was like, no, I want to kind of still go storm chasing up there if I can. But seeing this, well, it still means there could be something going on up there. So be careful in that area if you are there. Now, also, we wanted to show you this. There is a huge warehouse fire in Trace, California. We've got multiple videos of this, but the warehouse is pretty much gone. And, you know, there are a number of these that are going up here lately. I don't know if you guys have noticed that or not, but the number of huge warehouse fires is off the deep end. And the interesting part about it is the fire suppression systems in these structures are failing to protect them. Now, how can that be? That these buildings full of sprinklers and everything else are not able to deal with these fires. They don't have anything. They don't have fire stopper in there. They don't have foam. They don't have, you know, they should have a fire vehicle right there in that can respond right away. A couple of their employees could be trained, or even hire people who are firefighters, part-time or volunteer firefighters, so they had the people there. Here's another view of it. This is huge. And obviously millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of product is going up in smoke right there. Now, speaking of up in the sky, this was over Washington, D.C. A little earlier. Penguin 6 happened to catch this. So Chinooks, UH-60s, and AH-64 Apaches. I love the sound of the Apaches. Oh, there we go. That's what we wanted. Now, when somebody shoots a cop, normally if there's any other cops in the area, well, they will immediately return fire and take down the offender. Well, not the case here. This is what happens when cops are horsing around and they got no business doing it. Wait a minute. That looks like a female cop. Or is it? No. Just the way the shadow was, it looked like longer hair. That's why I thought, no, his glasses are on backwards. That's what it is. See there? I thought when I saw this right here, this reflection was like a hairpin. That's what made me say that. But no, it is a male officer who does not have enough time with his weapon. And who wants to bet that the weapon doesn't have a safety? Anybody want to bet on that? That this thing doesn't have a safety on it? I wonder what the model number of the weapon is. Sound like a 9mm to me, but you know, who am I to say? Now, the grand solar minimum is upon us, folks. I have been arguing with Grok for the last few hours here about this. In fact, I have a photograph right beside this lake. This lake is in Yellowstone National Park. And if you guys will bear with me, here we're going to go into some Lee stories here. This should be under here and there. No, that's Ukraine. And before that, which would be this one. Okay, so I spent, let me start here. So this is a command rig. I worked with the guys that built this. This is built by Nomad. The mast back here on the back is the same thing that we have in the Intimidator, but the Intimidator's is bigger. You can tell by the size of the coil compared to the size of the mast. This is pretty small compared to what ours is. But this is a command rig made by Nomad. And this is it up with the mast and the Nomad logo up there with a PTZ on top of it, which is similar but inferior to the original Spooky Cam for the KLW World News Intimidator. Now, I designed the power system for the New York Fire Department, and all of the ambulances in New York City that have a green leaf on it have my power system inside of it. It says FDNY green on the outside of the ambulance, and there's literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them running around New York. So I was working with this company. They saw the work that I did for the New York Fire Department and for Wheeled Coach, and so they decided that they wanted to start having power systems installed into their vehicles. And this is more pictures of that. There's a laser system that I worked on. That's yours truly. This is a generator system that I did for the Army when I remotely operated. This is my control system here. I was remotely starting TQG 3s for the Army. University somewhere in Georgia, I'm not going to name them, had been paid a lot of money and had been given 18 months to make this work. And I walked in. We made one trip down to the auto. Actually, we went to an auto parts store to pick up two 12-volt Bosch relays. And so with my controller and two 12-volt Bosch relays, in fact, there they sat right there on the table. I didn't even realize that. There they are. Those two Bosch relays and this controller, I was able to remotely start and stop and monitor a 3 kW TQG, which stands for Tactical Quiet Generator. That's the smallest deployable generator that the U.S. military has in its inventory, other than some small special operations things that we're not going to go into. This is at that facility. These are the guys I was working with there. That's yours truly there with my safety glasses on. Absolutely loving it. And as you can see, I'm wearing a green shirt right here And that's because I was the lead technical integrator for the AEWE Advanced Expeditionary Warfighting Experiment Spiral H at Fort Benning. There's one of the controllers that we were using. Here's the ambulance again. This is our system being installed into a Travis Alston ambulance, and I'm going to try to get through here as quick as I can. These are all pictures of my work. Here's a vehicle that we did for Seaburn. My rig, it's my truck back there. It had a power system on it too. This is showing how the government follows me around and takes a picture of me anywhere I go. So here's my trailer. Here's my truck at one location. Here's my trailer at another location. Here's my trailer at Fort Benning. Here's my trailer behind our other location that's on the south end. And then this is the power system. That's the APC system I did for the Canadians are familiar with that. That's one of my advanced controllers here, much more advanced than what they need. This is the special operations truck I was talking about where I was saying that I was next to the lake. I knew I would get to this eventually. This is when we're in Montana. This automatically ejects the door if there's a fire, or if I push a button, automatically calls the fire department. Very comfortable in this thing. This is the sensor that detects heat and rapid rate of rise for the dog in the back. Here's the space for the dog in the back. There's yours truly sleeping in the back. Plenty of room. This is at Police Week in Washington, D.C. That's one of the big canines from up in D.C. We had a lot of dogs in it. This is when I was at the U.S. Capitol with it, showing it to representatives up there. Well, I thought I had. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, here's some of my ambulances lined up together, being built for New York. This is in Florida. That's my rig there. There you go. That's me celebrating that we got it. Let's see what else. There's more of my systems. These are for the New York Fire Department. That's the controller for the fire department. This is a mountain lion that a guy hit, and I stopped. This thing is huge. That's a 32-ounce soft drink there. His paw is larger than the lid. Let's see, what else did it do? Oh, this thing here was cool, but we're not going to go into that. This was an undersea gold mining operation. It's designed to float in the water, and an excavator goes down and digs off of the bottom, and it sucks it up and sluices it in the machine. It's pretty wild. Let's see here. That's the lake. That's the picture that I was looking for of my truck. There's my dog. That's the picture that I was talking about at the lake where the snow was coming down that I was showing you guys a moment ago. Right here. And so it's pretty crazy that they've got this much snow on the ground out there this time of year. And I remember I was told back when I was fighting fire, in fact, right before 9/11, I think this probably would have been September 15th, or no, excuse me, not September the 15th, September the 3rd, or something of that nature, or the 5th, somewhere along in there. We were on a fire in Montana, and it was snowing. And I was like, dude, it's snowing in September here. And he goes, yeah, it doesn't normally start before the 1st of September, so seeing it here, right after the 1st is no big deal. That's natural for us. But it's only flurries and stuff. And I remember I called the fireballs, and it was the snow was coming down hard. And I said, sir, I know that if we get an inch of rain, that's enough to suppress a fire. I said, how many inches of snow? He didn't answer me. It was the first time I had ever been on a wildland fire where we were out there and the snow, I mean, it was a huge fire, but the snow was just coming down. But anyway, this is out here at Yellowstone there. Yeah, y'all want to go through the rest of the pictures or no? Yay, nay? Okay, so that's his gold dredge system there. That's actually the dredge right there. This thing works on the bottom of the ocean, and it scoops it up just like an excavator, but there is a vacuum tube. This is a vacuum tube right here. You see this right here? The boom that holds this is a vacuum tube that's in the bucket. And there's actually a screen in there so it can't suck a rock up against itself. It can only take fines in there, and it can pour the bucket back out, stop the flow momentarily, rocks will fall off, and it starts right back again. And here's the waterproof camera that looks down into the bucket. Beautiful design. These are snowmobile tracks, and the drive system is like mineral oil or something that's I can't remember what he said it was, but it doesn't hurt it. If he blows a hydraulic line, it's not an environmental cleanup. The system uses very little, and it's got to be on y'all's end. I'm not having any issues here. I'm pretty solid. In fact, I could turn that down because I'm not doing 4K here. Let's see here. That would improve. All right, now let's see here. Let me check the internet connection. Computer, how are you?
I am perfect.
Okay, so we're good. No dropped frames. All right, we're good to go. But anyway, that's the underwater machine. I could do this for days with all the pictures I have of stuff I've worked on. These are diodes for charging battery banks in the Plano Police Department. This is a SuperCat. This is what I had at the Pentagon on 9/11. This is the way it's normally loaded out, but I wasn't allowed to haul it around in the United States looking like that. That's me at the lake. That's my dog. That's her again at the shop. The hotel, the most spoiled dog in the world. Probably the most photographed too. She's no longer with us. I lost her a few years back. Oop, I shouldn't show that. Oh well, for those of you that can go back fast enough. Let's see here. Well, you know what? This is so many years ago. They're not there anymore. You know, people think that I'm bullshitting. Okay? When I say that I work with the Border Patrol, when I say I work with the FBI or the DEA or the Secret Service or whoever, CIA doesn't pass out cards. But here's Alan Quick. He is Director of Logistics at the U.S. Border Patrol headquarters in Tucson. I doubt he's there, but I've been there and talked to him. I I was making some things for Customs and Border Patrol at the time, and the director of Homeland Security, Janet Napolitano, cut their budget so they couldn't purchase what I had designed and built for them. So, and then down here, Mobile Assets Program Management Office, Chief Program Operations. So you can see that I'm not playing with nobodies. Oop. That's me, Rich, right there. That shows you how much money I got. Wasn't planning on that being up there, but oh well. All right, so there's a lot going on with the grand solar minimum. This has went a lot longer into the photographs that I had wanted to do. But anyway, there's a lot going on right now. Everybody should have their head on a swivel and be paying attention. We've got helicopters moving out of Russia. Putin has sent his wife, daughters, and grandchildren to an underground bunker. Russia, mark my words, Russia will be collapsed in 90 days from today. So let's just say, I'll actually go back and say June 1st. So by September 1st, by September 1st, Russian lines will be collapsing and the war in Ukraine will have completely shifted from the way it is now, and the Russians will be on the run. They won't be able to be supported anymore, and, well, we'll see how long Putin stays in power, if he's still in power 90 days from now. The most dangerous part of the war in Ukraine and for the people in Europe starts right now. When Putin is sending his wife, his daughter, and his grandchildren to underground bunkers, there was a time I told you that Putin would start flopping like a fish, and the dangers that he posed on the world would start coming out, and, well, there's a good possibility that a lot of innocent people could get hurt. Right now, or even killed for that matter, right now is that time. That started 2 days ago. So for the folks in the Baltics, the folks in Ukraine, the folks in other places around the world, even here in the United States, with what's going on in Russia right now, nobody knows what Putin's going to do. And he could lash out here, he could lash out in the Baltics, he could lash out into Ukraine, hell, he could lash out like the Iranians are and attack all kinds of places simultaneously. Desperate people do desperate things. And right now, Vladimir Putin is a very desperate man. So I'm going to put up a war watch here. We need to pay attention. Our friends in Europe need to pay attention, especially those along the Baltics. By the way, members of the KLW World News Network, if you're not on the KLW World News Network, you need to be. Get the app. Go to klwworldnews.com. Also, we talked about a trip. Charlie, I don't understand what you're asking me. Why do I say what? Why do I say Russia's going to collapse? Because the income has been cut significantly, and the outlay of money in Russia by the Russian government has increased, and there is no money to be had. And so if they print more, inflation is going to go through the roof. And if they don't, interest rates, and they've stolen money from everybody. The industries can't even function anymore because the Russians have pulled so many Russian men out of city service, public service, whatever, that the industries that they worked in are starting to collapse. They've been sent to the front to die, and there's nobody who can take their place. There's not enough young men coming up to support the removal of 1 million men from the 1.4 million men now, from what I understand, plus all the guys who aren't dead. So you got to talk about all the guys who are on the line, who are alive, plus the 1.4 million. So we're talking literally millions of, by the time you count everybody, over 2 million men involved in this thing. And their economy can't take it. There's pressure on Putin. All of the companies in Russia that Putin could steal money from, well, and all the oligarchs, well, they've run out of them. So there's a big, big problem for Russia. Putin knows it, and Putin is so scared, that's why he's sending his family into underground bunkers. Yeah, it's economics, exactly. You got it. I love this picture here, by the way. All right, any other questions for me before we end this out? Also, I'm planning on, at this point in time, unless we get some more donations, I'm not going to be able to do all of the trip to New York, which is part of the trip. I'm still debating how much of it I still want to do. There's some certain places I want to go and certain people I want to visit, and I'm sure they know who I'm talking about. Anyway, some places that I want to visit and people I want to visit. I've got some things that need to be connected for some of those people and need to show them some things. Oh, speaking of showing people things, my shelf back here, I've started digging through all of my old famous junk. This is the original PVS 14 prototype that I designed back in late 80s. I actually got it completely built and so on and so forth. I think it was 1993 when I was done with the original prototype. This is it. It's to go onto a RIS, Rail Interface System, which is now known as a Picatinny rail. But there it is, the original PVS 14. For people that don't believe I'm the guy that invented it, if I'm not the guy that invented it, how the fuck did I end up with it? Good question. Now, this is a thermal imager. This is a head-mounted thermal imager. I'm going to give you guys a class on this one night. I'm not going to tell the public what I did with this, but for those of you who are members on the KLW World News Network, we're going to talk about this in a class one night. And I'm going to keep adding to these shelves over here. I'm going to take all of the crazy things that I've invented over the years and stuff like that. I'm going to start stacking this on the shelves. So when people come in here and go, "You didn't invent the PVS 14," and they start going, when they do that, I'm going to pick this up and go, blow it out your ass. So there we go. Anybody got any questions? Thoughts? Oh. We're not done. Wait, there's more. Where the hell is that? Here it is. You guys are going to love this shit. I think that's it. See what we get here. Oh, yeah. So this is just freehand. I don't have this on the weapon. I have a bunch of thermal things. But this one is the small one and the light one that records. On our travels, we're going to travel to a variety of different places. And we're we're going to record a variety of different things. This plane is at like 20,000 feet. And I looked up, and all I could see was the flicker of his nav lights. I mean, I was like, I'm never going to fucking see that thing. But sure enough, there he is. It was in the middle of the night. The other night. Now, this we let the bunnies go. We let them all out of the pen, and we released 7. And so we gotten rid of all the rest. We released 7, and all of the bunnies stayed except for one. And that one bunny just went due west and headed out, and this is that bunny's escape. I don't want to say escape. We let him out, but he left the property. All the other rabbits stayed except for this one. And that's him hopping out through the horse pasture, headed towards the back pasture. And there he went down into the, we have a swell that goes across. And so he went down in there, but that was the last we saw of him. So let's see, what else did we have here? Yeah, it's vehicles. There's bunnies. So anyway, the point is, there's got a lot of places I want to go, a lot of things I want to see, but it all has one thing in common, and that is it takes money to get there. So the more you guys donate, the farther I can go. The less you donate, well, you're going to see me sitting right here. That's basically how it works. So we want to take the trip. We're doing everything to take the trip. We have plans on taking the trip, but it's going to be much, 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 much shorter if we don't come up with some gas money, because
we don't have any money.
It is what it is. So anyway, thanks for being here. Help us out. You can donate. Let's see. Yes, they're glow-in-the-dark bunnies. Absolutely. Oh, and I saw some, well, I can't share that. But anyway, it might get Keith from L3 Security all hot and bothered. No, I don't think Iran agreed to the peace deal. Yeah, definitely not.
What are you people? On dope?
Yeah, I don't believe it's a peace deal at all. All right, there you go. Make a donation right there, Mother. Just put it in there. Thank you, Mother. That's the link. So anyway, I have a surprise for you guys on Wednesday, and I also have a surprise for you tomorrow. So just keep that in mind. Well, I'll tell you more about it tomorrow morning. We're going to do a war watch right now. Thanks for being here. We'll see you on the next one.
That's all, folks.